So we're running a poll right now, if you're watching this for the first time, where we're trying to figure out what's the best horror movie of 2024. And it's been a thing that I've been wanting to do for some time now, a bracket of sorts. I think that would be fun to introduce to the channel. Let's start off with 2024 at horror because we're out of spooky season. And yes, indeed, we still have Nosferatu coming out in December, and it's a bit away, but I do want to just get ahead with this. Maybe Nosferatu might become our favorite horror movie of 2024. You know, we never know. We never know. So this live will just be me doing a reminder of sorts. We do have our Heretic review up already, but we've already got the polls up on the community. People are voting on it. And the way that's going to work is each movie in that poll that does the best moves on to the next stage, and then we'll just take the top two from that weekend for sure. What is the best horror movie of 2024? Like I said in the polls, if you don't see your movie up there, just comment it and it might just make it in there. But that's what I'm gonna do right now and discuss that. And I do have a whole video coming out for that. So tomorrow we'll do a video on the top winners from each of those polls, and then we'll move on to I think it'll be for you going for it out that really delivered in such a way that I wasn't expecting. And there's a ton of other movies I want to put on the list, but I just wanted to keep it to the main ones that a lot of you commented on that previous post. But if there's other movies in there and you want to put them, go ahead. I just think it was just so many to put already, and I'm trying to do like a horror movie recap. So that video is already like 17 minutes long, and I'm just talking about all the horror movies I watched in 2024, my thoughts on them. I think that movie, well, not that movie, but that video is going to be like 30 minutes because I'm at 17 minutes and I'm already at August. Watched a ton of horror movies this year, and just a great year for new releases as well. So just trying out new things. That's why I'm going live more, doing the vertical live and trying to do more on the channel, introduce new segments and things like that. We do have a news video today coming out with some of the news from horror films that are coming out next year, as well as some other movies. We try to incorporate other things in there, but we mainly do just dive into horror. So it should be fun. And I'm seeing a lot of people voting here right now. Like we have about almost 1,000 votes throughout all three of these. So I'm very curious to see which one are you all going to pick as the best horror movie of the year. On one of the polls, I see Terrifier 3 and Small 2 are like going neck to neck, and that's going to be an interesting one to see which one comes out through with that, because I think those were two really big horror films, and I think, of course, Terrifier 3 being such a big outlier, being that film that was out of the studio system and did it on its own, is always great to see a movie like that doing great. And it's just doing great at the box office, also making over $50 million right now. And we'll see when it's all said and done. On the other poll that we have, The Late Night with the Devil is really pulling ahead, almost like 65% of the votes right there. And it's like far doing amazing. On the other one, we have Oddity pulling through there with 62% of the votes, and Immaculate with 17 in second. So some of these movies are really surprising me how they're doing, because I didn't really know that so many people like them. I still have to do a video on Oddity. I really like that movie. If you haven't watched it, really great spooky vibes. It's a movie that's quiet, but a lot of the imagery is really creepy, and it has some of the best jump scares. Like, they're not just cheap jump scares, like they really get to you. They build it up so well, and that doll, mannequin, whatever you want to call it, it's just one of the creepiest things all year. Late Night with the Devil also, another one of those films that just has such a great atmosphere, really great for watching it during Halloween and all of that, or just a cozy night in. It is one of those movies that I really love. I just love seeing David Dastmalchian in a lot of things. I'm excited to see him in the upcoming film he will be with Kate Siegel that Mike Flanagan's producing, and you know, it's just a great year for horror. I'm very interested in seeing The Substance, how it does ultimately, because I wasn't going to put it at first because I didn't really think about it like that. And then I started seeing people posting it, some of their favorite horror films on the other poll I had done. So I was like, all right, let's see how The Substance does. But it's doing pretty decent right now. Long Legs is another one that I'm curious to see how it does, because when we talked about Long Legs on the channel and we were ramping up, talking about the marketing, everything, everybody was excited. Then the film came out, and then a lot of people that were apparently excited told me in the comments and stuff like that that they were kind of let down. So I'm curious to see how it ultimately does for people now that the movie has come out and people are watching it, right? Longlegs was one of those movies that I think a lot of people were a little bit let down apparently due to the film not really meeting the expectations. I don't know how y'all felt about it. I think that it definitely is a movie where I think you got a better experience if you really got into the lore and marketing, which I don't think is a good thing either. I'm saying like it's a thing where you really expect the audience to go in knowing all of these things, and then it can kind of let you down if you don't. But I still think that it was a decent movie. It has great acting in it. It has some very terrifying imagery as well, some of the best of the year. And we'll see how it does ultimately. But Alien Romulus is another one. It had a big debacle online with the use of a certain actor, and I still enjoy it. I like the third act a lot. It's my favorite third act of the year so far in horror, especially the fact that we see Fede Alvarez doing something different in the franchise and trying to push forward a new idea. And it's a little bit like Resurrection, I'll give you that for sure, but I think it does still try to differentiate itself as well, and tying back into the other films that Ridley Scott did, which were supposed to be like prequels. So I don't know, we'll see how Alien Romulus does in the poll. A Quiet Place Day one of those very big films of the year, did amazing with its return in the box office and all of that. Really loving to see this franchise explore these new different territories. And I still have to watch Pig from the director Michael Sarnowski, who did A Quiet Place Day 1. And I'm also curious on this other poll where I have Immaculate and Cuckoo, two films I saw at South by Southwest, and one of them I saw at South by, I was hyped. The other one I saw at South by and I wasn't as hyped, but then I rewatched both, and the one I was really hyped at South by Southwest by, I immediately said I don't know what the hype was and didn't feel as happy about it. And the other one I wasn't as hyped, I loved it, but I still didn't really say this is amazing, you know? So it's interesting.